Today, we are predicting the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and I've got to start the show. Buck is shooting perfect. 6 for 6 this far, wild card round. You can watch that video. You can check the date. We're not falsifying anything. I just got to give some credit where credit is due. I might have missed a couple, but Buck did not.
I appreciate it. We've gone through 2 months of you don't know anything about football, and we predicted everything right. So hopefully the trend continues today. Obviously, let us know your guys' predictions in the comments as well. But let's hop on into it with Buffalo versus Denver to start. Who do you have?
Well, I want to start by saying, like the video if you want some more NFL games to match up to the wild card, because that might be the best wild card round of games that we have witnessed, period. I mean, you had
incredible.
4 shootouts. I even think that the game with the Patriots and the Chargers was a much better game if you watched it than maybe the scoreline. The only game that was kind of like a little bit of a dud, and we'll get to that, is maybe the Texans game. Even as a Texans guy, it wasn't the most entertaining game of football across the board. There were a lot of mistakes, but Bills, Broncos, I think we both agree. We haven't discussed this, but the Broncos got fraudulent activity in many ways. It's going to be the Josh Allen show. I guess the question is, can you run the ball against Denver's defense? You've got, the best defense in the league outside of the Texans, and then it's a matter of one of the better offenses. Are you going to be able to deal with that pass rush? And that pass rush is not only the best, it's the best by a lot. I think they have 20 more sacks or something ridiculous, even over second, third, and so forth. They create a lot of pressure. The Broncos do not have a fraudulent defense. I just don't think either of us are that big a believer when it comes to Bo Nix. I think they're more of a systematic offense across the board. And even with the Bills being limited with receivers, I don't love their receiving core. I think this is where you show up. Josh Allen going to be licking his chops. I don't know why I did fingers like this. I hope he's not licking his fingers, but he got a playoff round, Buck, where he doesn't have Mahomes. In Kansas City, you don't have Lamar and the Ravens, and you don't have the Eagles anymore. This is dream stuff. I know you got to go away, but this is dream material. I got the Buffalo Bills.
It's dream material. I was going to say, man, I don't think it's going to be a defense that beats Josh Allen. I think it's going to be a quarterback that's better. And that's why it's such a big deal that a lot of those guys aren't in the playoffs anymore. I don't think Bo Nix is that guy. I've said it for a while. We've both said it, and that's why I think we were both on the same page with this. It's not going to be a shock going and playing in Denver. It's freezing as hell there, just like it is in Buffalo. So I think the weather conditions are completely fine, which may have helped Denver out a little bit when some teams have gone there this year as well. I think that Buffalo is going to beat them. I don't know if it's going to be the greatest game of all time. Should we take some predictions how many points that we think they're going to win by as well too? We haven't looked at the spread or anything.
What's the over-under line? Can you do? Can you check the over-under? Because I'll tell you where I think this is heading. I do think there's going to be points, though. I don't think this is going to be a nasty, super low-scoring affair. I don't know. Playoffs, it hasn't gone that way. It's almost a reset in some ways. You can't change the metrics or the measurements and so forth, but when it comes to playoffs, you've made it here. It doesn't feel like you're playing against the divisional standings anymore. It's kind of that full on. It's sort of that full-on reset. Stuttered through some words, but we got there. Give me the line.
Buffalo's 1.5 point favorites, and the over
what
is 46.
What is the over-under, Buck?
46.5. Ooh. I don't like that line at all.
I don't like that line actually either. Yeah. I was hoping they were going to be like one of those 40 flats, like a 39.5 or something, and then we'd be saying over. But I don't know if it goes over 46.5. I'd be happy to watch that.
I would love it. My prediction is that I think the Bills are going to win by like 5 or more. That's my guess. I think you could really push that line, but we're not a gambling channel, so it is what it is.
We can be. Right. If you're watching this and you want to come involved, we will talk about all sorts of gambling and lines. Let's go Texans, Patriots. I think I have a very clear and biased view here. I actually think I might have to pull up to this. I live on the East Coast, Boston, or I guess Foxborough, which is, I don't know why we talk about that being Boston. It's sort of in between like Boston and Providence. If you've never been or you don't know, I guess, some of the geography here, I guess it's not far from Boston, but maybe 45 minutes, an hour outside the city. But we're pretty compressed if you're talking East Coast movements. It's closer to Providence than it is to Boston. Either way, it's kind of top offense versus top defense. And I still stand by this. I know I took the Chargers. That was a big gamble in our previous prediction show. The Chargers had a real chance, and they didn't play great, but they forced turnovers. They had the ball within the 10-yard line multiple times, only walked away with a field goal. I kind of start to question, is Justin Herbert the guy for the Chargers? I know the O-line is terrible. I'm aware. But you know that they're coming with a blitz every time now. A few little dump-offs. There were a couple drops. I don't know if he was reading the game that well. Maybe the Chargers aren't a playoff team. It's less about that. I guess it's more about the Texans and Patriots. Can the Drake May legacy continue? Or are the Texans going to be able to, swarm and do their thing? Obviously, I'm going with the Texans. I'm super biased. This is just how it's going to be. This will be the first time that we're really making a true run if we get a victory against the Patriots. Defense wins championships. And I still stand by this. And you can't change it if you're a Patriots supporter, but the schedule is still the schedule. They got a lot of games that I don't want to say were walkthroughs, but they weren't the hardest or the most difficult opponents based on strength of schedule, results, teams that are over 500, playoff teams. They didn't have a lot of that matchup. And I bring back the Chargers game because I think the Chargers, if they score after the big turnover, if they get some things going, I think that game ends up being a last possession game. It just didn't end up that way. Final score, they didn't get it together, but there were real chances for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think there were real chances for the Chargers too. It sucks they lost, but I just don't trust the Chargers at all in the playoffs anymore, but that's unfortunately just how it is. My prediction for this game is that I just don't think Stroud's good enough. I don't think he looked good enough against
He'll be better than the Steelers. He'll be better than the Steelers. Can't be worse.
Okay, he can't be worse. You would
also, Christian Kirk, what the heck?
Yeah, has the game of his life, by the way.
What's going on? I watched all year with the Texans. This guy's been absent.
In the trash. We put him in the trash category on our wide receivers tier list.
Bro, 150 yards in a playoff game?
Disgusting. Somebody made some real money last night. I think...
I was going to say one big scare, Buck, that we didn't mention. We got a concussion issue with Nico Collins, and I don't know if he'll be back. I think he's listed as maybe questionable, or I don't know if it's officially out, but the game turnaround is so quick, I'm a little concerned. I wish he had a night game. I know it's just a few hours, but I kind of feel like if we push it another day,
that'd be the difference.
Maybe. That's a big deal, though. I don't want to lose Nico.
Yeah, no, you can't. I just don't think that Stroud looked good enough. I also think that video of Stroud looking like a cornball, waving goodbye to all the Steelers fans going like this, has made me not like him all that much. So I am going to take New England. I think they win. I think it'll be a really, really, really close game, though, because I think the Houston defense is beyond disgusting. They're so damn good. So, but I think New England will somehow do their thing, and that's my decision there. The next one is Seattle versus the 49ers. Who do you have?
I'm sort of confused with the 49ers. I'm so happy that they beat the Eagles. I mean, we both talked about the Eagles this year. It's not clicking. Their defense, or not their defense, their offense has been really clanky, like kind of stiff. For the talent the Eagles have, it's actually ridiculous that they don't move smoothly. They're not very dynamic, but shout out to the 49ers. This year, I mean, you look at like Fred Warner being out. George Kittle now is not going to be playing. Brock Purdy misses half the regular season, and they come in and get a replacement. Last game, you don't have Ricky Pearsall. I think he's going to be playing for this game, potentially. I saw a questionable. We'll see as time gets closer, but they just keep having issues all over the place. You can talk offensive line, defense, whatever, and they get results. They had a great regular season. They're now having kind of a remarkable postseason. And I said a lot to say I don't think they're going to beat the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks have been top 10 offense and defense this year. You've got to play in Seattle. That's a big deal to me. They both know each other well, but you have to play in Seattle. It's a difficult place to be the away team or the away organization. I don't think that changes. I sort of think the Seahawks, if anything, with the remaining teams are sort of maybe the favorites on paper. We'll see how it goes. But like if you look at consistency, continuity, everything that we're seeing, key players in different positions, they also have the split backfield, which I personally think is almost a must to have two backs that can share some of the carries, maybe different body types, different stuff. It just works. It wears down the defensive line. It wears down the linebackers and so forth. Just very helpful for success. Anyways, I said a lot, as I always do, but I've got the Seahawks to beat the 49ers. I think this is where it ends their playoff run, but I still think the 49ers deserve tons of credit this season.
It's a weird one because I wouldn't mind a few of these teams winning. Like, I wouldn't care if Houston won. I'd be totally fine with that. I'd be totally fine if San Francisco won. I would love if the Bears won as well, too. But my heart's not with a lot of them right now, where I do think that the Seahawks are going to get past the 49ers. I think the 49ers look like absolute trash against the Seahawks the last time they played a few weeks ago. But the problem is I think the Seahawks also look like trash. I just think the Seahawks are going to figure it out and get past them. That's my opinion. Like you said, few injuries as well, too, over on San Francisco. They've had a fun run, but I do think that it's the end of the run.
I will say this. If somehow the 49ers get themselves to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl in this run-up, this is one of the most ridiculous seasons ever.
Yeah.
The amount of injuries and fill-ins and players having to step up and third or fourth options in some cases. Yeah. I mean, we haven't rooted against them. I don't think either of us have a reason to.
No,
it's just been surprising. It's just been surprising, which leads us to our last game with the Rams, of course, going up against the Chicago Bears. I asked the question, Buck. Can Chicago keep going along this path? It's making for the most entertaining football you can watch.
I think, yeah, at this point, if San Francisco or Chicago somehow makes the Super Bowl, it is either one of those teams are the craziest. There'll be like a documentary on both of them at this point. But I said it in our little early prediction video as well. I think Caleb Williams is going to have 300 plus passing yards. I think he is going to go crazy over all of his lines. I just don't think they're going to win. I think that's my opinion. I think the Rams are too put together of a team, but also the Rams defense looks very suspect. Like they do. I hate
look their
suspect.
Secondary, Buck.
I don't like it at all.
Secondary.
I was going to say, this was going to be my other point, is that I wanted to see what the over-under is for this game, because if it's over 55, or if it's 55 or under, I'm going to slam it, I'm pretty sure, but it's 48. Yeah, it's over. I think that's the most obvious over I've ever seen in my entire life. I think Puka Nacua could have 200 yards against the Bears. Also, the Bears defense looks very suspect at times,
they're the takeaway defense, right? Like, these are the guys that force turnovers, but there could still be some yards allowed this way or that way. But I really think that the Rams, if you can get into that secondary, I think there's a lot of room to exploit. It's just more about dealing with the pass rush.
And that's Caleb's like special though. The thing is, I was never a Caleb Williams fan at all, but dude, he can literally just go like this and the ball goes 60 yards. And we've seen so many deep plays, especially at the end of games, where he can do it and he's been pulling it off. I would be totally fine with them winning. I think it'd be kind of fun to see them win. I just think the Rams get it done.
I just can't see another fourth quarter comeback that looks like what we've been seeing. I just not against the Rams,
which means that the Bears last week.
Well, no.
Against the Packers.
With the Packers, we were saying, hey, the Packers are, I said this, the Packers looked like they could have beat the Bears twice. They should have beat the Bears twice in the regular season. We both took the Bears, so it's not like we were wrong on our prediction. I think there's something about that rivalry where we felt like it was possible, but maybe I have more confidence in Matt Stafford. Premium quarterback, premium experience, Super Bowl champion, primetime offensive options. He's also having arguably the best year of his career. I think probably the best year, at least on paper. If you are in a position, or if this game ends up in a position where, let's say the Rams are leading, and oh my man, this is setting up so well for you to eat my words. Let's say the Rams are leading by 17, 18, 20, whatever, 15 points. You can name the point tally. Somewhere in the double digits. I just can't see them blowing it. I can't see them blowing it where both of us have always kind of been on the fence a little bit. Like I like Jordan Love more than you, but I think that he's a good quarterback, but not amongst the elites. Yeah. And I just think Stafford is in those elite categories, even well before the season. And if it ends up being a game where the Bears have to chase, I don't think you're going to get the chance to chase against the Rams. But I will say this, Stafford was not fantastic against the Panthers for all that game. He started well. There's a huge gap where he wasn't great, and then he finished well. But I'm just saying it wasn't as if he had 4 quarters of I'm seeing everything, offense is moving, no problems. It really wasn't one of those matchups. Very entertaining game. So either way, we said a lot. I'd love for the Bears to win this.
Same.
I think this is where their luck runs up, unless somehow they get off to the start. And we just haven't seen that. This has been a team that's slow starters, and they need that fourth quarter.
You imagine a 49ers Bears conference final. That would be so much fun. Oh, it'd be so good. Because that game was incredible.
And it'd be all the games at home for the Bears, too. It would just be a Bears run through in Chicago. Chicago's been saying there's no violence happening. No crime right now because the Bears are getting it done.
We need the NFL season to go on the entire year then. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know your predictions down below. Like Mike said in the last video, comment it now so it's not one of these situations where you come back a week later and you're like, oh, I could have told you that. Anybody could do that. Put it in there now. Put your neck out. All right. We will see you guys a little bit later, and hopefully I can stay perfect on these predictions and maybe win some money.
Go Texans.
Go Texans.